All right. Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Years of Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we are talking a little bit AAW. That's two A's, not AEW, AAW. We're going to have a special guest on, someone who we've talked to before and who we've talked a lot about recently on this podcast. If you're listening, following, etc. Chris, talk to me. How you doing, man? How is your new year started off?
Doing well, man. New Year's definitely is here. It doesn't feel like it. It just feels like we haven't left the house in forever. But everyone's healthy. We're doing good, and there's some changes, happening in the upcoming months. For me personally, so I'll keep you guys in the loop once all that solidifies. But we're
Uh-oh.
doing good, man.
So you're having a fourth kid?
No, definitely
Okay.
not. Not a
Definitely
fourth
not.
kid. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
It's good to hear your voice, man. Yeah, I hope everyone's off to a great 2021.
2022, bro.
2022, excuse me. Oh my God. It's late. I apologize.
But
And I
before it
hope
gets any later, bro, I mean, I am excited for a guest. I want to bring him in. He's in the lobby. I see him now.
okay. Yeah, why don't we
So,
bring in our guest? It's the gunslinger. He's sporting his gear, Mr. Matt Fitchett. Let's bring him in.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
hey.
How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. You?
Doing all right. Hey, do you? I gotta first ask. Well, first, let's just Chris. Why you want to just
Oh,
clap it up? Let's just clap it up.
yes.
For this
I mean,
man
I
so
wish
he
I
can
had a
success.
soundboard for this, but it definitely it just me personally as a fan, I'm fulfilled, like, because I've seen the journey that you've taken,
Yep.
and being there consistently at mainly AAW shows, and once, unfortunately I wasn't able to be at the Windy City Classic, but once I saw that picture come out, is like it just, as a fan, is like, oh, like this is these are the moments that make us keep coming back to these shows.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh
yeah,
wow, dude,
congrats on
that's
that.
pretty cool. Thank you. That was yeah. I don't know. Put a smile on my face. It's cool to hear things like that because I don't know, from when you're on the other side of the curtain, I guess you don't realize those moments are happening for other people. But that's cool. Thank you for those words.
Yeah, I mean, you deserve it. And I don't know if you like, I don't know if you remember that we have talked before, obviously in the past. It's
Mm-hmm.
been a little bit. It's been years. I wrote it down. Um, it has been
March of 2016.
March 2016. So it's been a
Okay.
bit since we talked. And that was in the upper area of the Berwyn Eagles Club, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now I remember. Yeah, yeah, definitely, dude. That was a long time ago. Holy crap.
Yeah. So in our first memory, or actually our first independent show that I went to, Chris, I think, had been at a couple before. Oh, you still there?
No.
You're there. We hear you.
Oh, you hear me? Oh, I didn't hear.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
So the first independent show that I went to, and I think this might have been like Chris's, like, maybe third or fourth AEW show, was
Rolling.
was Homecoming, and it was so March 20, or like Chris said, March 2016. That wasn't the day we talked to you. We talked to you a little bit after, but that on that day is when you wrestled Drew Gulak. You opened the show. Do you remember that?
How could I forget that? I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, and they asked me if I used to get tweets all the time about it. They recently, oh man, just stopped. Probably I would get at least one. It would go from a bunch a day to a few, and then it would trickle away. But it eventually ended up being like once a week to once a month, and then yeah, it slowly just kind of died away. But yeah, how could I forget that match? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my first impression of you, which is an awesome impression. Yeah, what do you remember about that, man? I mean, I remember it was
Was
a
a clinic.
technical clinic, basically. Is that how you remember it as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember it being a lot of fun. That was such a memorable match for myself. Not just because of how it was received, but it was the first time I'd ever gone out there and just called it in the ring, and
Okay.
it was terrifying. So like, but the way that Drew was super cool, and he kind of told me how he worked matches, and he was like, this is how we're going to do it tonight. I could have said no, but I was just like, I'm going to have to learn how to do this sometime, So I was like, why not? Why not now? So yeah, and then it was really cool that I don't know. It was just really cool because we weren't. I didn't think that we were gonna go out there and steal the show or anything. Like I was just going out there like, I'm gonna learn like a lot of new shit tonight. Like this is gonna be a lot of fun. So So I looked at it in that way, and then how everybody said it stole the show, and people just still kind of talk about it, and I was like, it was like double the reward, I suppose. Yeah, it was great.
And during that show, not to linger too much in that, but I believe the main event of that show was Ricochet versus Sami Callihan, I think.
Yeah, I believe it was.
And I'm like, this was at the hype of Ricochet and Puma King and all that and Lucha Underground, and there was a lot of fuss about it. But you opening up that match kind of set the tone for the rest of the show, and the fact that I remember pieces of your match. And I just remember who the headliners were, but I don't remember much about that. Like, I think that speaks volumes, and that's why Charlie and I bring up this match, maybe once every 6 months or something. At least twice a year we talk about it.
Yeah, see, it comes some way it finds its way back to you. It's a boomerang at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a part in the match I think where like it was like a silence, and you threw in a little comedic humor where you're like, he knows so much. You like said something like that, like he knows so many holds, he knows so many moves.
Yeah.
Like, and that kind of like just because the crowd was like in silence, almost in awe, almost because it was just like move, reversal. We were so locked in, and then you said that, and it kind of like broke us a little bit.
Yeah, well, that was just me being me. Like that was just like. That was me pretty much saying, like, I'm out of holds. I've ran through the arsenal. I don't know what to do here. So, like to fill that gap, I ran my mouth. I just went to that. I'm like, go to what you know. So I just went to that. That was the next step. So, yeah, it could have potentially ruined the whole thing, but it worked out. So, yeah,
it works definitely. Yeah. And when we were talking to you above the watch, I've never been up those steps at Berwyn again, except that was the only time is when we talked to you.
I don't think I've ever been up there either since then.
It's such a mysterious area, and we love that venue because it has so much like almost like gross charm to it. But it's just like it's just a classic venue. You were saying when you were with Vega, you're like, we look at the poster and we're the only drive-ins on this poster. And you guys were like, you guys almost said like that was a little intimidating to you guys. And now like, look where you are basically now in 2022. So I don't know if you remember that comment or that moment. That's something we had Danny Daniels on a couple months ago, maybe. And we made that comment and he laughed. But yeah, so that's how you're on top of the mountain now. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But like, you went from, oh shit, we're the only drive-ins. Do we just even deserve to be on this main poster? To like, now here you are. So that's kind of the journey we've seen.
Well, we're still drive-ins. Damn it.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
But we're not the only ones now. No, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, because we thought it was like writing on the wall. We thought Danny was cleaning house, like just changing the entire formula up and just, refreshing a roster. And we thought that we were going to be grouped into that,
Right.
And so we were just kind of counting down the days. We're like, oh man, just be grateful for, each show that we get on. And like, we'll just go out there and just, have matches that we fucking care about and do it our way and just, have fun. Like we were just trying to stay positive about it the whole time. And it all worked out real well. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you being the only drive-ins to, a local show and everybody's a fly-in, and, we had this conversation before the show. And then if I'm not mistaken, during that show, you guys won the tag titles for the first time.
At the Berwyn one?
I believe so. If not the next show after.
Oh no, our first AAW championship we won at Logan Square. It was against the Hooligans. That was the first time that we held them. Yeah. The second time was at Berwyn. So we did win them once at Berwyn. So, and that was against the Rascals.
I think Chris is. We have this running joke where like sometimes when we talk to someone, like something happens to them, and we try to make that connection when it really has absolutely nothing to do with us. So I think
blame the Modelos at the Berwyn Eagles Club.
Is that that's a connection you were going for, Chris? It sounds like.
Yeah, no, for sure. And one of the things that within that, even though we saw you as a singles competitor first, when you and Vega became tag partners, not even champions, like it was an ongoing thing with Charlie and I. Like next show they're gonna break up, something's gonna happen. Like so, you whether you liked it or not, or however that worked out, like you guys always kept us on our toes. So like that was pretty awesome. And I guess that's where I was thinking, I'm like, oh, it was around that time that you guys won the titles.
Yeah. You were doing the Sheamus and Cesaro before the Sheamus and Cesaro were a thing. You were doing, it was like one face, one heel.
Oh, trust me, I've seen all the formulas out there. I've seen all of them. Yeah, I've seen things where I'm like, I think maybe they got that from us. Like you get those moments, but yeah, I just shrug them off though. I'm like, they probably don't know who we are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Davey Vega a little bit. I wanna comment on your hat, because the last time we talked to you, you were the Dirty Rook. So explain the difference: Dirty Rook versus Gunslinger. When did that formation happen? And explain the two.
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know how much of it I want to say of it. Okay. Yeah, so the Dirty Rook, I'll just put it this way, like the Dirty Rook was like that's an old me, right? Like even then, like I just kind of looped it in with like personal life stuff and like the way I looked at myself when I was a wrestler then, and like I kind of like I just didn't like that, right? So I was like, I'm not that person anymore. Mm-hmm. And I need to drop that. Like I need to change. Like I need something, and I can't even tell you where Gunslinger came from. It was probably me and my friends trash talking, one night, and just it probably just happened, and I was probably like, oh, I'm gonna use that now or something. It was probably something stupid like that, honestly. I just don't remember where it came from. But the difference is, it's like the Dirty Rook was just some like young punk, right? That just didn't take anything fucking seriously. Okay. Just, was just too busy having a good time and not focusing on like, what he could really accomplish. A Gunslinger, he's just a guy, he's been around, he's been through it, right? And he's fucking fed up. He's not asking for fucking respect anymore. He's just gonna go out and fucking get it, and he's just gonna beat the fuck out of whoever steps in his way. Like just not caring anymore of like, who I have to keep happy or anything like that. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I'm gonna fucking do it. Like that's the Gunslinger.
I love it. That is that is clear and distinct. And do you think like when did you start hear maybe rumblings in 2021 of like, hey, you were kind of getting this push? Like did it just kind of happen naturally?
Just kind of happened because it was like I didn't even know I was winning the Jim Lynam, and I didn't know I was winning the belt either. So I didn't find those out till day of.
Oh shit!
And like I knew that they were gonna put me on a path. I just didn't know what path that they were putting me on.
Right.
And because I thought I was still like figuring out who the Gunslinger was too, and who the new me was, and how I could portray that. Yeah. So, So I'm thinking I'm still working through like a whole process still.
Okay.
And like everything just kind of started falling into place for me, and I was having bad luck because I had new gear ordered, like that all red gear that I have. Mm-hmm. I had that ordered way before we were even going to do the singles run this time. But with COVID and everything, it got delayed for months. And so I got that gear late. So I was wearing just the red Liger, gear that we have. And it didn't, and I had the jacket already, right? So I have like half the gear, and I'm just trying to find myself, and I didn't know what fucking music to use. I didn't know how to fucking act. It was hard. It was hard figuring out who I was as a singles wrestler now. And it just felt so foreign to me. And I was just like, it's a lot of pressure. So I just I asked for a lot of advice from people that I trust in wrestling, and they gave it to me. And I was just like, I just went, fuck it. And just went out and I just did exactly what they said. And it worked and it felt right. And I was like, all right, here we go. And just kind of took off from there. So I thought I was still building up momentum. Like, I didn't think that they were like, oh, he's got enough, and then pull the trigger. And so, yeah, just getting to the shows and finding those things out. And like, it was just really cool. Like, I thought the gym lineup was as far as I was going. Right. And then you show up and I'm like, and they're just like, hey, we're going to need a lot of promos from you after the show. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I don't know why. I usually don't ask, but I just like when they said that, and I go, am I winning the belt? And they go, oh, you don't know? And I was like, no one fucking told me. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool, man. Like, yeah, and like that night, I don't know if I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
No, keep going. we were gonna talk about that night. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah, that night was like really fucking cool. Both nights were really fucking cool. Like, winning the gym lineup was like, I'll never forget that day. And then like winning the belt was really fucking cool too. Like, you just work 10 fucking years. Yeah. And you just take a lot of fucking shit,
Yeah.
And then you're on top of the fucking world. So it's fucking cool. And then having like your best friend there, and then having your best friend from fucking 6th grade call the match all on a whim, like, not just like, it just all fell into place and no one fucking planned any of it. And then it also landing on the exact day that I debuted 10 years prior, like that, none of that shit was planned out. Like, it just, no one knew, and just like we all figured it out along the way. And it was like, holy shit, it was just really strange of a night, but it was so cool in that way, so
amazing.
Yeah,
I could see it. No, we can see the emotion on your face. I think if you, the listener, want to watch on YouTube, this would be a great one to watch. Yeah, I mean, you in that tournament. Yeah, in the tournament you wrestled ACH. So when you're talking about best friends, I don't know if ACH was included in one of those, or what were the two people you were referencing?
Well, I was talking about Vega, like, being there for the championship night, and then my buddy Greg Jovi, he called the match. Danny, someone I think had to cancel or pulled out, and they needed somebody last minute, and they asked him. And so yeah, he took it.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, you had some fantastic moments in that tournament. I mean, I think, honestly, the gunslinger to me is someone who doesn't give up, because you had 2 David Goliath matches in like Jake and Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Jake and Josh Alexander, especially the Josh Alexander match. And it kind of almost felt like a passing of the torch. I mean, that was last year's winner, or whatever the last tournament was. That was his winner. That's someone
who was 19.
Yeah. Who's held that belt. Obviously, we didn't know you were getting. We knew you were getting a shot at the time. Is synonymous with the brand, and it seems like a really good dude as well. And to have him kind of put you over in the main event of that, I thought was like extremely fitting as well. So it was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I remember. What was that pay-per-view? Oh, shit. I'm probably going to catch so much shit for not knowing the name of that pay-per-view. What was the pay-per-view? What was the name of the pay-per-view Josh won the belt on? The Impact belt.
Oh.
Was it Bound for Glory? Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory. No, when I remember that pay-per-view coming up and Josh being against Christian, and like I even just remember just like geeking out over it because I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I'm like, this is so badass for Josh. Like, go him, dude. but it was also for the fucking belt too. And I just remember like trying to figure out if I was gonna win the Jim Lynam, right? And I'm like, well, I might win it if Josh wins that TNA or the Impact Championship. I know I'm not winning this fucking tournament. But if he doesn't win that belt, I'm like, I still have a 50-50 chance, and that's good with me, you know? So like I'm like on Twitter and I just see a gif of him holding the championship up, and I was like, well, maybe I'll win it next year. And I just keep scrolling, and then I saw Moose cashed in or something, and I was like, all right, yeah, now we're back to might be a chance.
Yeah, and then so you wrestled Fred. I think he has. Once again, I'm not a wrestler. I don't want to sound like a dirt sheet person here. I'm not, but like he's a physical dude. I think he kind of works that way. Like if you get in the ring with him, like you're gonna feel it. Would you agree with that? And can you comment?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think Fred is probably the snuggest wrestler I've been in the ring with. He's 100% safe. Like everything's fine, but he is a heavy boy. He fucking hits you, dude. Hits you. And so yeah, when you're in the ring with Fred, you have to fucking bring it up, or you're just gonna get ate up. And I did not want to get ate up at any point. So yeah. You just gotta go in there swinging, dude.
That's good. No, I mean I think that plays into the gunslinger. Honestly, is how many like giants you had to go through. How many really? I mean, like you are a tough dude, but I think when they look at you, I think. And your moveset too, I think plays to a comeback and like underdog and like kind of never give up kind of style. So that to me is it sounds like is the gun, like you're taking bullets as the gunslinger, but you're still shooting. So yeah, I think it was very like serendipitous journey for you for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. Like it's cool to see how many people have actually like followed it, because I didn't think anybody was paying attention, you know. Like I thought I was just like collecting all of these things like for myself personally. Like one day I'll look back and like I did this fucking cool stuff, you know. Like for me, I didn't think anybody would ever like, oh man, you remember that time Matt Fitchett did whatever? Like it's cool hearing shit like that. Like, for real.
Well, Chris touched on it. I think like it's people who love there's a lot of AEW loyalists. Not that they don't watch other wrestling. We watch a ton of other wrestling. We go to other shows, but like if you've been with AEW, you respect the guys that have been there for so long, and you have put in all if you put in all that work. I think if you would have been a fly-in who just started wrestling in 2021, it just wouldn't have resonated. Like that's that baggage that you carry with you was like part of all those matches, like all that time you put in with a Mr. Davey Vega, you know?
Yeah. Like it's a cool fucking, I enjoyed that every fucking step of the way, you know, from beginning to end, like, and just always having Vega there with me too. Like everything's just been so fucking badass.
So, you know, like soaking it all in, and you know, being that main eventer now at AEW and holding that belt, who would be that ideal opponent? Who are you looking forward to getting in the ring with?
Oh man, so many people. Like I put a list out the other day.
And why Davey Vega?
Is that what you're getting at? Like you want us to wrestle? You know, I don't know, man. I don't know if me and Vega are gonna tango or not. I don't plan. I didn't even know I was winning the belt, man. Like, how am I supposed to answer that question? You know, like I have no idea.
I know, but you like personally, like, is there anybody that you would like to get in the ring with? Maybe not necessarily in AEW, but just you know, ideal opponents, like somebody that you would like to, you know.
I know you saw put out a list. Yeah, was Eddie on that list? Who else was on that?
Eddie
list?
Kingston.
Yeah,
I've worked Eddie a few times, not at AEW, but I had man. Now you're gonna make me look like an ass because I'm not gonna remember my own people. No, it was like Brody King, Keith Lee, Calvin Tankman,
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I went for all heavy hitters, man. Killer Cross, Killer Cross. Oh no, there's two more. I know the last one. Oh, fuck. No, it looks like a dickhead because I can't remember the other one.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm scrolling on your Twitter right now. I found it. Brian Danielson.
Yeah, that was the big main eventer right there, right? Like
Possible.
yeah.
Even with
I
the
always put
AEW
one in
contract.
there. I just always like when I set goals, I always set like one that's like really, really big over the others, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like you need motivation like that. Like I think like dreaming big is a good thing. So yeah.
Definitely. And
Throw
then
those on there.
big beef.
Oh yeah, big beef. Yeah. Yeah, I've worked him in a singles, but not in a. Or I'm sorry, I worked him in a tag match, but not a singles.
Okay. Yeah, I think. So this is not necessarily AEW specific, or is it?
No. I would wrestle anywhere. I don't care.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, a lot. But ironically, a lot of these guys, I see at least two of these guys that probably have a little bit of a freed up schedule right now. Obviously. We don't want anyone to lose their job, but they seem free as opposed to where they were last year. And they've worked with AEW before, so they could come in back and you guys could tear the house down there. And yeah, you did pick a lot of heavy hitters for the gunslinger to try to conquer.
Yeah, man, you know, like they say pick the biggest dog in the yard, you know? So I'm fucking picking all of them. Let's fucking do this shit. Like, I'm trying to take myself up another level. Like, if I'm not trying to, then, well, you know, what the fuck am I doing this for then, you know? So I'm just kind of throwing everything at the wall. And, you know, if you fucking think you hit hard, then let's fucking see it.
Amen.
There you go.
But you would have to agree, though. If you and Davey were to do something singles, because I know the split was mutual, right? This was like we want to do this kind of.
Yeah. We both mutually split on screen, off screen for AAW at least, but we tag a lot of places and pretty much everywhere but AAW.
Yeah, exactly. So there is you guys could literally pull from like 4 years of promos to create a storyline. Like you live so much that's you could do like a whiteboard like in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
like there's that much to connect if you wanted to do you guys have so much history. So I mean we want to see it just selfishly.
See, I didn't think anybody would want to see that either. I was like, let's not do the generic like, oh, let's break up and then go into a feud with one another, you know? Like that's pretty much how everybody breaks up. Like, why do that? Let's do something different. Like, we don't have to hate each other, you know? So that was kind of like our thought process. And then, you know, he comes out and then everybody's got to react to it. And we got to look at Danny Daniels and go, well, maybe you're right. You know?
Well, he's got the he's got the Johnny Bravo in his ear. You know, as you know, Davey's easily influenced, whether it be Scarlett, right, in his ear, or Johnny Bravo. You know, maybe Davey has a little help getting to that dark side again. Goes at now he's on a singles run. Who has the main singles title? I mean, I think it writes itself. I don't know.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like I said, I don't. I just carry the belt. I don't book the show, you know. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we were pushing it. We were pushing Danny for that too. So we've been trying.
Great. I can't wait to have that conversation. They want it. That's what it's gonna sound like.
Yeah. No, as we said when we talked to you once again in that room that we'll never see upstairs, we said like when your hands go up, our hands go up, and that was referring to your entrance, your entrance theme by Savage Garden, the tag entrance theme. So yeah, there's a reason why you are where you are. So I think people, if you build it, people will follow. And then you are doing a little bit of other tagging. I don't know. I know you recently wrestled the Bang Bros. We love the Bang Bros. Wrote about them. Can you tell me about that match really quickly?
Yeah, it was a really fun match. It was a really, really, really fun match. Maybe I'd like to see the match. I would like to have that match in like multiple different promotions.
Okay.
You know, I would like to do that a few more times. Like they were really good. Like, yeah, they were really creative and they're just really good. Like those guys are fast and they had like these crazy moves and stuff like that. Like I had a fun time working them. Like it was very simple. Like they're very good guys, you know?
Yeah. They're personal favorites of ours. And yeah, I want to put over the before we get you out of here, March 6th. So that was at Second Wrestling or Second to None Wrestling? I'm unsure.
Second Wrestling. It was Second Wrestling. Yes.
Yes. Maybe their slogan is Second to None, but Second Wrestling. Their next show is March 6th, I believe. And we'll have more information on that, I guess, in the description of this episode. I told the promoter that I would talk about the show. So I don't have it up in front of me right now. But March 6th, Second Wrestling. Follow them on Twitter. I don't know. Are you wrestling for them again on that show, or do you think you'll be?
I believe so. Yeah, they treated us very well, and yeah, they're great guys too. You should definitely go and support them as well. Yeah, just good crew. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and sorry for not having the information on me, you the listener, but yeah, we'll have it on TwoHeelsAndAFace.com when we post this episode, all the information. And there's other shows happening. Warrior Wrestling, I think, is happening the 22nd, South Bend. Freelance, unfortunately, had to cancel the 21st and 22nd, Freelance Underground, but there is still some wrestling going on, so you can definitely get your fix.
And there's the upcoming AAW show for February 4th.
Yes.
That's going to be at the Marionette Park. That's Bourbon Street.
There you go.
With Ron Simmons meet and greet, but you're going to have the AAW champion in the house.
There you go.
So
Ron Simmons versus the Gunslinger.
Let's do it. Let's see what Ron's got.
He's a big boy. He qualifies in that list.
Yeah, he does. Maybe he can teach me a few things.
Definitely. Well, Matt, before we let you go, we're at the 32-minute mark. Sorry, we kept you a little bit.
You're good.
Actually, we might be right on time because we had like a 2-minute intro, maybe, or 1-minute intro. But yeah, before you go, congrats again. Anything you want to say before you head out? Any plugs or anything like that? Or
man, follow me on Twitter at Matt Fitchett and Instagram, same handle, Matt Fitchett for both of them. One word, no underscores, no numbers, just my name.
All right, and that's 1T.
1T, M-A-T.
M-A-T.
Yeah,
right,
I got too many T's. Too many T's.
No, it helps differentiate. But once again, I'm just gonna do a little golf clap. But so
thank you.
Clap right on the mic. But Matt, congrats on everything. You deserve it.
Thank you, congrats. Man. Appreciate it.
Right. Make sure you hashtag this episode Gunslinger
with a V.
With a V.
The spellings.
Right there.
There you go. All right. Appreciate
Thanks,
your time.
Matt.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
Yep. All right. That was Matt Fitchett.
It was a quick and short interview, man, but it didn't even feel like an interview, just, hanging out. And it was good to just kind of get his reaction, from at least, us AAW faithfuls that we've, seen his growth and seen him get to the top, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, his eyes lit up when we were like, I remember above the.
Whether you did a podcast interview or not, anybody that goes up there, I'm sure they remember the time they've been up in the second floor in the little room of the Eagles Club.
I know I promise you, like, it was an area away from the girls' bathroom. It was just an open area, but like, I know the girls' stuff is up there. We stayed away from that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We stayed in this weird area where there was just like shit everywhere. And it looked like someone, like your granny's attic, basically. And that's
basically, yeah. I remember there was like a mattress or something there. Like, yeah.
Kind of. We'll never go up there again.
One and done.
Yeah. No, that was a super fun conversation, man. I think he's really appreciative. We're appreciative of him. He's appreciative of the crowd that literally him. AEW and himself through his hard work, and Davey as well. Give him some credit. We love Davey Vega. It's a pro Davey Vega podcast like that. They built this following, and he deserves everything.
Yeah, and also, shout out to AEW for again, going from this promotion that was flying in a bunch of folks, and they were pretty hot during that time, and they're a great promotion. I mean, that's why we go to their shows, but also looking at their local talent, at the talent that's been with them for a while, and giving them a shot, and giving, in this case, Fitchett a shot to carry the title, and see where that takes them, and just kind of believing in their own talent in a way.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. It's crazy. I love the insight he gave us, where I didn't know that, like, he thought they might have been off that poster the next show, because it was
Right.
literally. I remember the poster. I remember the poster was like that really cool red background, and it had like literally.
Was it that the one with the explosion in the back or something?
Yeah, it was like an
Mhm.
explosion in the back, and literally like so many big names at that time were on that poster, and it's like, and it's
And
the best shows in the
it
world.
was, yeah, during that time, like AEW was super competitive. Like, if you
It's hard to
were,
get a spot.
yeah, it was hard to get a spot. So that's pretty cool. But I think, do you have any final thoughts? I mean, we can wrap it up, call it a day, call it an episode.
No, I mean, like I said, uh, um, let me just. I can say all of it right now, I guess.
All
I
right,
had him up.
hit him up, hit him up.
I
Um,
had Second Wrestling up, and then they're running March 6th, AEW February 4th. We're wrestling January 22nd in South Bend, Indiana.
mm-hmm.
Freelance Underground, Freelance Wrestling canceled the 21st, 22nd. So, which 100% be safe, smart on them,
Absolutely, yeah.
and I'm sure all precautions will be taken that are need to taken for the shows that are running. So, but yeah, there's still some stuff happening, even though Omicron is running amok. I'm glad your family's healthy, but yeah, you can still find some good wrestling out there, even with all this stuff.
If not, there's always YouTube. There's always, IWTV. There's, um, what are the other? I mean, I am not gonna recommend Peacock, but you can check Peacock out if you want. But there's wrestling to watch for sure.
Definitely.
All right, so that concludes episode 210 of Two
Ooh,
Heels and a Face. We are kicking off 2022 with a great episode. I definitely enjoyed that conversation with Fitchett. So, looking forward to many more. As far as social media, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Two Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face.
mm-hmm.
Check out our website for a somewhat controversial list, top 25 shy. Twoheelsandafacecom. That's number 2 heelsandafacecom. Let us know what you think about that list.
Yeah, read the criteria before you say. I realize the title might be a little misleading, but if you read the criteria,
Listen, we're Two Heels and a Face, small podcast. We've been covering, Chicagoland wrestling for approximately 4 years. So
I don't even
it
know
is what it
25
is.
wrestlers that I guess I know 25 wrestlers that live in Chicago, but to put on that list, but I feel like that limits.
Yeah.
It
It's the
limits
people
so
that we
much.
see. There's some. I'm sure there's some wrestlers in Chicago that we don't see, we weren't frequently seeing on a monthly basis.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like that limited. If we were to keep it to only people living in Chicago, it would very much limit the list. We kept it to people that wrestled for those promotions. Also, a little bit confusing.
It would be unfair for us to I mean, I've always tried to catch Galley shows, right? Nothing against Galley. They just run on Sundays, and sometimes I can't make it. But I've been to Galley shows. I enjoy them. I like their wrestling. Their lucha libre style is very different.
Yeah, Sam Adonis just won their belt.
I was gonna say that Sam Adonis, who's a constant warrior, like he just won a belt over there. But it would be unfair for us to pull people from there when we're not consistently watching the product or consuming the
Right.
product. So
Yeah. Read the criteria. I think it makes sense. And also, I understand Zella didn't have a lot of the shows in Chicago, but we still
right.
have watched all those shows, even though if they weren't in the Chicagoland area, they were still considered. So
Listen, Crestwood, still Chicago, and I went to those baseball shows.
there you go.
So there you go. It counts.
Counts.
All right, Charlie. I will take a swig of my Modelo. I mean, it's how long has it been since we had a Modelo together?
I'm drinking a Bud Light, but it's been way too long, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's been way too long. So, hopefully we're able to get together at some point when all this. We'll keep saying it once all this settles down and COVID is no longer around and not a threat. But we just gotta stay safe and keep enjoying all types of wrestling because wrestling is a buffet.
That's damn straight.
All right. Hashtag Viva La Chico. Don't forget about Viva La Chico.
Definitely don't
And
do that.
make sure to hashtag beat up GPA.
Of course.